for introduction. Good afternoon to all. I'll be dealing with fire safety, since we are in the fire safety, dealing with day-to-day life, fighting the fire, various emergency call we attend, that you all know what kind of duties we are doing and how we are dealing with, what kind of infrastructure we are having and what kind of manpower we are having and what we are trying to achieve in future. So that I will be dealing with. So mostly it will be regarding fire safety, and it is around how we are going to keep Mumbai safe. It will be around that. So I will start with my presentation. First of all, for Mumbai, if you see the total area of Mumbai is about 437 square kilometer of area Mumbai is there, and population of 1911, if you see, it is about 1.25 crores. So that much of population is of Mumbai is there. And if you see the density of population is also more. If you see in the sea ward, it will be the most in the sea ward. So population wise also sea ward is the having most number of people staying over there. And if you see in the morning session, people are traveling to South Mumbai, and so South Mumbai you have more number of offices. So this is what our oldest the fire engine is we used to carry with the horse cart. That's why today it is steam engine was there. So today also it is known as a Bamba Khana. So people still, if you go to Bhande Bazar area and in the part of South Mumbai, they still recognize it is a Bamba Khana because we used to carry that Bamba along with us. So today we carry a fire engine having various equipment. But that time that was so old that people used to carry it, firemen used to carry it with the horse cart. So today also it is known as a Bamba Khana. This is what our monument is, where right now we had a fire service week from 14th to 20th April. We had a monument over there at our Baikala headquarters, where we observe fire service day on 14th of April. Because during Second World War on 14th April 1944, during Second World War period, there was a fire in a Fort Sticking which was burned at Victoria Dock. So in the memory of that fire, and 66 firemen had laid down fighting that fire. So on that, or for that purpose, this day is observed today as a fire service day, and whole week we observe the week as a fire service week, and we carry out various awareness program during these weeks. So what are our acts and provisions are there for our Mumbai, or you can say to Maharashtra? First of all, we'll see what are the provisions. So these are the provisions. If you see the 61K is there, under which MMC Act in 1888 we are carrying out the obligatory duties of carrying out firefighting operations, rescue operations under 61K of MMC Act. It makes us to provide these facilities under MCGM, and MCGM provide all kinds of funds and facilities, manpower to us, and Fire Brigade is one of the department of Municipal Corporation. Various 38 departments are there. So Mumbai Fire Brigade is one of the department of Municipal Corporation who provides the services to the citizens of Mumbai of firefighting and rescue work. These are the duties which we are carrying out: flood, fire, rescue. These are various duties. House collapse, where Fire Brigade attends the calls, and wherever call occurs in Mumbai, our 35 fire stations are there, and headquarters located at Baikala. Whenever call is given, it lands to our headquarters at Baikala, and then it is transmitted through wireless to the particular fire station. 35 fire stations. Each fire station has been given certain jurisdiction, and as per jurisdiction, the vehicles are turned out, and as per the level given, the additional help is also provided to the site. So these are the various duties which Fire Brigade does. So what are the infrastructure which are having? If you see, we have as per SFEC guidelines, the fire engine or the response has to be provided in the urban areas within 5 minutes, and in the rural areas it has to be 20 minutes. That fire engine has to be reached to the incident wherever the call has any emergency has occurred, and once the Fire Brigade control room receives the call, it has to be attended within that period. So these are the norms which we have to follow. So we are trying to achieve these norms. It is not possible during, if you see in the morning session it is easy, in the night time it becomes easy for attend call, but in the evening it becomes very difficult to achieve this. So today we are trying to work on it to reduce the response time. So we are trying to match to this response time. That's why we have we are increasing the fire stations. We are having motorbikes to achieve this response time. But still we are not, but we are trying to achieve in future. We may reach to this mark. These are our various command centers there. Earlier it was a centralized one at Vaikala headquarters. We had a centrally located headquarters, but today we have different locations. Administrative duties are being carried out through these. These are the 6 command centers through which the administrative duties are carried out, and the additional help, whatever required at that particular incident, is turned out from these command centers, and we are trying to achieve these command center at par with the Vaikala, so that each command center will have required manpower into that particular command center, so the response time also will be reduced, and the number of engine or the number of manpower required also will be provided from that command center. So we are trying to work on that also, because of that we have 6 different regional command centers are there, and through these command centers we carry out the administrative duties. So these are the locations. If you 35 fire stations are there, 15 are in city, western 13 are there, and eastern 7 are there. Then we have mini fire station. This concept we have added to reduce the response time. Earlier we had the concept of fire station, where you used to have the conventional fire engine carrying 4,500 liters of water and various equipments. But today we are trying to minimize by the fire engine also has been reduced, by size also has been reduced, the quantity of water has been reduced, but we are using mist technology, so that we require minimum quantity of water and various equipment. So that's why we are having quick response vehicle for that purpose, to reduce the response time and to attend to emergency at the earlier stage. As soon as we receive the call, the engine has to be reached. So what we have done, we have introduced it, because it is not possible to get the area what we required to set up the fire station. So we have come up with the concept of mini fire station, where we required hardly 800 to 1000 square feet of land. We have a container over there. So such containers and the fire station, mini fire station, we have come up with this concept, and today we have 19 mini fire stations are there, and these are located in such a way that where the distance of main fire station is little away, and where we have placed in such a way that the mini fire engine, whenever call is received to that, it can reach to the incident. So we have marked it on the plan. We have done that planning, and according to that we have placed the mini fire station in the distance between 2 fire stations to reduce this response time, and we are trying to add more to it also. So these are the number of calls what we are receiving through last 5 years. This is the data of last 5 years. These are the number of calls what we have received. If you see the last column, these are the number of calls, all total number of calls to which we have responded. If you see, that will be around 15 to 30, it will lie between 13,000 to 15,000. 15,000 calls. The duties what we are carrying out, that we have seen earlier slide. So all these calls are included into it, and if you see the first column, that these are the fire calls. In 1920 you will find that number has reduced, but it was reduced due to COVID. But then we are trying to minimize that also. So we have levels of calls are there, so we are trying to reduce that, so that fire do not escalate to the next level. So we are working on that. We are getting the help of NGOs also, but we are trying to reduce the number of fire calls. So we are trying to achieve by minimizing, by carrying out the prevention work, by carrying out the awareness among the citizens. So we are trying to achieve that. If you see, that number has been reduced constantly from last 5 years, and we are trying to achieve, so that we get minimum number of calls, and through prevention only it is possible. So this is the graphical way. You can see through graphical ways how what number of calls we received, how many calls, fire calls we have received, rescue calls we have received, other service calls we have received. So these are the graphical form of what we have seen in the earlier slide. So these are the casualty. If you see the total number of dead and injuries, what we are when we attend to the emergency calls, these are the number of injuries and dead. If you see the last column, you will find these years number of fire call has reduced, but number of death and injury is more. It is just It is for the reason that hazard is increasing. The new gadgets we are using, we are trying to achieve more, using more and more gadget, which leads to the hazard and the area, the fire also, where the major turns into minor fire, turns into major fire, and then the number of deaths. Like if you see the Sachinam building in the Grand Road area where fire has occurred due to smoke, 9 people have died on that particular fire call. So number of fire call has reduced. However, due to this hazard, the death and injury is increasing. That is the more what everyone in the citizen has to concern about, so that we can reduce this number to the minimum, and that can be achieved by prevention of fire. If we do that thing, then it is possible to reduce this number. So what manpower we are having, if you see this slide, you will come to know what manpower today we are having. So these are the ranks which we are having, right from Chief Fire Officer, head of the department, to the lower grade, that is fireman entry level, and assistant station officer is for the officers level. So these are the manpower which we are today having for operational purposes who attends the emergency calls. So these are our workshop staff. We have our own workshop. Since we are having, I will be showing what fleet we are having. So we are having number of vehicles at various fire stations to attend to these vehicles day-to-day maintenance. This is the staff we are having to handle these equipment, various fire engines, day-to-day routine maintenance carried out by these our workshop people. This is the administrative staff. Since we are having operational staff, the workshop staff, this is the administrative staff we are having, which carry out their day-to-day work of having their salaries and other establishment is carried out by these administrative staff. This is our hierarchy. Honorable Municipal Commissioner is the head, and then additional Municipal Commissioner is there, then Deputy Municipal Commissioner there, and then Chief Fire Officer, that is the head of the department. And under him, 9 Deputy Chief Fire Officers are there, and these are the various portfolios also there, and regional command, I also told you, regionals are there, 6 regions are there, so these 6 regional heads are Deputy Chief Fire Officer, and then we have special operations and administration. So these are the various posts of Deputy Chief Fire Officer who report to Chief Fire Officer, and further hierarchy is there. So what infrastructure we are having? So these are the number of fire engines we are having, total number of fire engines, and various equipments what we are having. Mainly if you see special appliances are there, then foam tenders, what we require at fire ground, these are the various fire engines, various type of vehicles, breathing apparatus is there, rescue van is there, hazmat is there. So these are the equipment, these are the engines which we require at the fire ground in case of major emergency. Minimum is the 62 fire engines, that is what the conventional one is turned out when we receive a fire call. And these are the various equipment like special appliances are there, turntable ladders are there, aerial ladder platforms are there, right from you see 30 meter to 90 meter, from various range we are having, total 20 such vehicles are there. So these are various equipments again, the piercing vehicles are there, quick response vehicles are there, and various other fire engine and equipment. So these are few of the glimpses of the fire engine, various types of, as I told, fire engine is there, conventional, turntable ladder, aerial ladder platform. These are the photos, hazmat range, rescue van is there, quick response small, if you see at the lower side, these are the quick response vehicles, smaller vehicles which we are having, so that we can reach to the incident at the earliest. So we have these kind of vehicles. So this is what we are going to achieve. We are going to acquire, will be having 70 meter ladder hydraulic platform will be there, near future 52 meter ladder platform will be there. We'll be having water monitor will be there, and then high-rise firefighting special appliance has been built so that we can have, because we get difficulty in laying hoses, because we see most of the buildings are not maintained, the system which is installed in the building. We ask them as per Act, as per the provisions of Maharashtra Fire Protection Life Safety Act, it is the duty of, it is the role of owner and occupier to maintain the system installed in the building. But what we see today is it is not maintained the way it has to be. So that will be my appeal, as Suresh Goyalji is saying, what will be our commitment. So we are trying, we are making people to make it aware so that they make it, the system is to be maintained. For example, I'll give example here or small example how it works. There was a fire at 32nd and 30th floor in the Beaumont. Also, you also must be knowing in the Worli area that building is there, where our where our film star stays. In that particular building, fire was there at that height, but still the system was working, so we could fought that fire and we could control in a 2 to 3 hours. We could control that fire because the system was in working. The system was in completely working place. But if you see the fire at Sachinam height, the system was not working and it made difficult. So we have to lay right from hoses from ground to the where fire has occurred. So it takes time and then it grows arithmetically, and when the problems goes on increasing, and then it becomes difficult for firemen also to enter and go to that level and then fight the fire against all odds. But then still we are doing it, but then if these are maintained, the efforts will be reduced, we will have early control on the fire. That's why we appeal to the people to maintain the system, maintain the system installed in the building. If you see the high-rise firefighting fire, where it has been achieved, we can fight the fire, we need not have to lay the hoses, we have specially made it so that we can take it to 200, 250 meter, the hose and the pumps which are installed in the high-rise firefighting vehicle, we can carry that hose, rubber hose, these are specially made rubber hoses are there, just to carry from ground to that particular floor. Even if the system is not working, we will be able to fight the fire and we will be able to get the required pressure at the topmost height. That's why we have made this is the single vehicle we are having new vehicle in our fleet. So this is high-rise firefighting vehicle is there. These are various equipment, portable pumps, wherever it is not possible for fire engine to reach to that incident, so we carry the portable pumps, they lift the water and then we carry the water to the fire ground. So these are the various equipment we are having, cutting tools, various hall motor gears are there, other various gears are there which are mentioned over here. These are the photos of these equipment what we are having, right from jet ski, if you see. Boats are also there, and then various gears including robo is also there. We are having robo also for firefighting where it is not possible fireman, or it is where it is difficult or where the risk is involved to the fireman. We use these robo for firefighting purposes. So this is what we are trying to achieve. This is our next goal, where we will be having the drone. Today drones are available for surveillance is there, for communication it can be used, but today it is not possible. It is not available for firefighting, but we are trying to get the drones which we will use for the firefighting purposes. So this is the budget of our budget which we get from MCGM, and these are utilized for our manpower, including our machinery what we buy every year. So this is the provision made by MCGM to Fire Brigade Department. And what kind of communication? This is also backbone of Fire Brigade. Unless until you have a strong communication, it is not possible to work on the fire ground. So this is what today we have turned our VHF into a digital mobile radio, various sets we are having. So these are the sets, these are the various numbers of sets we are having. Digital mobile, various walkie-talkies are there, static sets are there, each fire engine having the wireless set, so that we can have better communication at the fire ground without having any hindrance. So we have suburban and city. So whenever fire occurs, we use these kinds of sets which are already installed in the fire station, in the fire engine, and handheld walkie-talkie sets are there which we use at fire ground to have communication among ourselves. So what modernization we are doing? Earlier, if you see left side, that these are the uniforms which we were using, and we have changed into what you see on your right side. We are having the lady firemen also, we have our around 127 lady firemen are there. They are working with us. They go call, they attend call along with us to the fire ground. They come along with the fire engine. They come with the fire engine. What fireman does, same thing lady fireman also does. So we have changed ourselves. We are trying to change. So the what change from, if you see on the center side, this was the uniform what earlier used to have, like fire resistant type. The tunic type was there, fire resistant, but today we are using three layer coats are there, personal protective equipment to protect them or to give more confidence while doing firefighting. So this is one of the personal protective equipment which has been given to each and every fireman and officer. So this is our control room. This is the backbone through which we receive the call and we transmit the call to the fire station. So this if you see to left side, this is the old control room what we were having. Now we have changed to this. If you see, so you will find the video wall is there and all complete setup is there in the control room where we transmit message, we receive the message through our telephone line, and then these messages are transmitted to various fire stations so that they can attend the emergency at the earliest. So these are the various teams we are having. Along with firefighting, we do flood rescues there. In the 2005 there was a huge flood, you all know. So after that time we are having this search and rescue team is also there, flood rescue team is there, where we have boats are there, we are using it after the flood situation, wherever flood situation is there, because today we are, due to technology, we come to know what will happen, where clogging will be there, where more rain will be there. So accordingly we place ourselves and then we turn out in advance. We keep ourselves standby to that particular area so that we can provide services to the citizens of Mumbai. So these are the beach safety. This is also the additional work done by the fire brigade, because in the Mumbai, if you see, the beaches are always full of people, many numbers of people visiting, and chances of getting drowning cases are many at Jew or various other Shivaji Park and Grand Gargaon Chowpatty is there. So we have 93 lifeguard placed over there, and during monsoon we also go to these places to avoid, make people not to venture into the sea. So these are the additional duties we are doing apart from our firefighting job. This is also search and rescue team where house collapse is there, it really needs something different, so that the persons are trained into it. Also various types of collapse are there, so how to get into it, how to rescue in such a collapse. So these are trained, these firemen are trained, and this is also part of our search and rescue team. These are rope and rescue team. If we require, we can have these facilities also there with us. We are giving training to our firemen for that also. There is also emergency medical rescue services are there. The firemen, about 120 firemen are trained into the emergency medical system where they give first aid, transportation is being carried out. So they are trained for that also. So what we are doing for capacity building, it is very important. I know everything, unless until I refine myself, it is not possible. So I have to upgrade myself. So what we are doing for capacity building, and it's a teamwork. So each and every one, if it is trained properly, he will work at the incident properly the way it is has to. So we have a SOP for that. But then it needs to have training to them also. So for capacity building, we are having various training with us. So these are the training center at Vadala and other training centers are there where we give training, and this training is not only for that particular reason or for particular this thing, but then for every promotional post, various promotional grades or promotional posts are there. So every individual, each single fireman has to undergo before he gets that promotion. So that way capacity building is there. But in day-to-day routine also we have, if you see in the next slide, we will find this is the breathing apparatus gallery we are having at Vadala, where we create the smoke environment, where we create a hot temperature, where we create a zero visibility, and so that the fireman gets into it and he goes all these difficulties, these hurdles, and then he has to come out in that particular period. Otherwise, he is monitored from outside. But this facility is available with us, so that at the fire ground where such situation is there, he can work properly. He can work in a coordination manner. Other teammate, he can coordinate with them and he can carry out the work. So this is also part of capacity building, where each and every fireman undergoes these kind of refresher training in a periodical manner. So this is the hazmat. This is the training of hazmat vehicles there, where decontamination is being carried out. So this is the additional one what we will be doing, where we will be having this kind of facility will be there, where drill tower will be there, normal drill tower what we see generally at fire station. But apart from that, we will be having hot fire training will be there, smoke will be there, house collapse training, type of different collapse, how to rescue into that period. So these things, everything will be single. This tower will be there, where civil will be there and technical things also will be included, technology also will be included in, and the fireman has to undergo these various type of training, so that it will be a additional professional skill to him. So he will be having this multi type of drill tower also will be there in near future at Thakur village fire station. This is what we are doing every induction. These are the training which are being given to each fireman. And if you see at fire station also, if you are staying nearby, you will find that firemen are carrying out day to day their routine work, these kind of things they are doing at fire station, so that they remain alert. They can carry out these duties at fire ground. So these are the drills we are doing. We are having drills to have competition among various fire stations. So these are the drills, earlier drills and new drills what we are doing to make ourselves more professional, skilled one. So how he can achieve in a minimum time, that's why we are having this kind of drills. So awareness program also during this fire service week, every fire service week carry out. And apart from that, every year routinely we are carrying out these are the posters which we try to post on the various buildings, so that in case of fire, what citizens are required to do, what they should not do, or what they should avoid if fire occurs. So these are the posters we are placing at the building, so that people come to know, citizens come to know what to do in case of fire and what not to do in case of fire. Small things are there, small tips are there, not to use staircase, not to use lift, use staircase. These kinds of tips are there, so that they remain alert in case of fire. If anything emergency occurs, they know all these things, so they can help themselves properly. So these are the fire volunteers. We give training to these fire volunteers, so that each one having knowledge of fire prevention, and if at all fire occurs, how to extinguish that fire. So this is the training we give to fire volunteers. About 6,000 fire volunteers we have already trained, so that they can help to fire brigade and they can help themselves in rescuing and extinguishing the fire also. Today we are working with fire Agni Suraksha program with one NGO is there, Project Mumbai, which is helping us to get the various volunteers who are ready to get them trained. So we train them every Saturday, Sunday. We train them at our command centers, so that we are also trying to have more and more number of fire volunteers, so that they can extinguish the fire, they can prevent the fire, and in case if fire brigade is required, help is required, they can call the fire brigade. And in case further major thing is that how they can help to the fire brigade. All these kinds of training is given to these fire volunteers. Then what developments are there? So these are the existing. If you see, these are the greens are the existing fire stations, and the red one we are proposing in next 5 years we will be having these number of fire stations in the next 5 years. So these are the new fire stations which will be coming up in next 5 years in Mumbai. So these are the mini fire stations. Already we have 19, so we will be having these additional number of mini fire stations. So we will have more number of mini fire stations also, so that we can reduce our response time. And what prevention and mitigation, how we can do to it, what are the responsibilities of citizens, as a resident of the building. So these are the various provisions of DCPR through which we release the NOCs for the high-rise buildings or the special building. So these are the provisions of that, where the fire brigades, fire safety requirement or the NOC is required. So these are the various regulations under which fire brigade issues the NOC to the particular building, issues occupation certificate to the particular building. These are the various provisions of the DCP Act. This is the system, online system. This everything is online. That is called auto DCR. We are working this way. We are working the auto DCR system, where the architect uploads the plan and these are cleared as per hierarchy. They are clearing, everything is checked, what provision has to be done into that particular according to occupancy. It is given by the officer, and accordingly the requirements are stipulated to that particular occupancy of the building. So these are the provisions of the MCG Municipal Act, where 3/1994 provisions are there, where the license is required for the health, eating house or various trades or factory permit. That is also online. So we issue all these things on an online system. So this is the prevention kind of thing, where the Fire Act has been introduced for the state of Maharashtra. These are the dates on which Fire Act is introduced and the rules are introduced, and every citizen of Mumbai has to follow, and we are working on that to make them to follow. So these are the various provisions. If you see, sections are there, various sections are there, which are stipulated into the Fire Act and which empowers the nominated officer to inspect the building, to issue the notice, to carry out next further course of action, like disconnecting water supply, disconnecting electric supply, sealing the building. These are the various provisions, various sections of the Fire Act which are given to the nominated officer to take action in case the installations done in the building are not properly maintained or taken care of. Then these actions are initiated under these sections. That's all. Thanks. Thank you very much.